Hey, and welcome to the first episode of the Blaque Koffee Comics Podcast. Wow, it's a thing that we're doing now. Yeah.
Indeed it is. You know, you have to metaphorically sip coffee as we indulge in the literature and the blonde roast. So
do you even have coffee in your cup at this point?
hell no.
You don't even have coffee in your cup. Hold on. I'll grab coffee.
Are we actually grabbing coffee?
I will actually grab coffee. It is very much deserved. The authenticity is what's necessary. They need to know that we're actually drinking coffee. Because this is, in fact, the Blaque Koffee Comics Podcast.
And I'm taking it black.
Do you want sugar?
Hell no.
Okay.
We're taking it black.
Okay. That's what she said. Never mind. I'm sorry. So sorry. So sorry. I'm uncultured.
Getting demonetized in 3, 2.
Oh goodness. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Perfect. I got my coffee. You got yours.
Hell yeah.
Cool. And again, welcome to the Blaque Koffee Comics Podcast with me, one of your lovely hosts, Blaque and Kulture, and your other lovely host,
Space Lloyd 8.
You leave the 8 on your name?
Oh yeah. I mean, that way it's just easy to be like, oh, if I'm looking for Space Lloyd 8, what do I type in?
Where are the other 7 Space Lloyds?
You know, there can only be one.
So, did you like Invincible? Oh, let me not give spoilers for anybody. Actually, no. Spoilers ahead if you haven't read anything. But, like, you're gonna do, like, the other, and you're gonna do the Invincible. Gosh, what? I feel like that meme. Well, you mean, what it is,
like,
yeah.
Like, really? Like, I mean, like, you know what? Like, oh my gosh, y'all.
I meant Invincible. In Invincible, Mark has different versions of himself in different timelines. They all come to the same timeline, and then one of himself has to kill off all the Invincibles. So did you, Invincible, the other 7 versions of you?
Yeah.
That was really casual of you.
Yeah. Shit was painful.
Okay, I'm glad that happened. Cool. I'm just gonna ignore your murder confession. And today...
I mean, if I don't leave any bodies, then there's no testimony to be had.
I'm pressed. Anywho, this podcast is for us, me and Lloyd, to chit-chat and discuss comics, manga, webtoons, and other things that fall into, like, the sequential art category. Yeah, totally. That sounds right. Right?
Yeah, that about sums it up.
That about sums it up.
Just a nice, comfortable place, like during the regular time, whether it's the morning or the afternoon, whenever you tune in, to get a glimpse of maybe some comics, or not even comics, some graphic novels even, that you can tune into on a day where you just want to relax. Things you might not know about, especially for Black creators or independent comics or series that go away from the mainstream. Everybody knows about Marvel and DC, but where do you get that real gritty writing where, like, the writers and the artists and illustrators don't have a big name to fall back on? And when we find it, and if it gets our stamp of approval, you'll hear about it. You might add to your library something interesting for once.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get the conversation started. Today we've got 3 comics on our docket. We've got Crescent City Monsters by Dream Fury Comics. We've got Olympus by Rachel, what's her last name? Rachel Smythe. And then we're also doing Ice Cream Man, who was written by W. Maxwell Prince. So let's get into it. What do you think about just general overview? What do you guys, like, there's more than 2 of us.
I mean, I got several personalities.
Right.
You want the smart one right now?
I don't want any version.
I'll go to the smart one. Well, actually, as a matter of fact, that work for you?
Now that I am completely and thoroughly disgusted, can you please give me an overview of what you feel about these comics?
You're so mean.
A little bit.
I didn't even get to indulge in the passions, goddamn. Alright, but as you said, tell me about the You know, when we play this back, we're gonna be 7 minutes in.
We haven't even talked about comics. Supposed to be comics. Not a singular comic. Not a singular comic has come up yet.
No. Okay. Well, which one did you ask me about?
Child, did you not hear the... Okay, again, Dream Fury Comics, Crescent City Monsters.
Crescent City Monsters.
Ice Cream Man by W. Maxwell Prince. Okay, so we'll start off with any one of them.
You know what? I want to start with Crescent City Monsters since you mentioned them first. And that's the one that you introduced to me.
I did.
So I already was a little bit apprehensive. I'm like, I gotta double check, you know. But you didn't miss with this recommendation.
Oh, no.
I like the fact that it's the first one I've had that's in black and white. Like in its original regular print just being black and white, compared to like a 70s or 80s. Because I started off my first time reading comics were like the Marvel old school 60s or 70s ones.
Oh yeah, Golden Age comics.
Yeah,
so nice.
Yeah. So to go from that to like nowadays a new comic being black and white, you think that just as in the back of your mind, something you don't put in the forefront, that it has to have color, it has to match, and if it's modern day, it's got to have modern coloring. So for it to take all of that away, to put you in the proper setting, and where it doesn't take anything away, and you don't have any distractions from the story itself, and it still gets well illustrated and inked. It's satisfying.
Oh yeah,
Crescent City Monsters is a satisfying comic.
So good, y'all. Like Crescent City Monsters is great, and I'm gonna tell you why. This sounds totally wasn't a cut before this. So yeah, last thing I said was you can hear it's got great cardstock, very dynamic visuals, beautiful stuff. Let's go ahead and get into the story itself. So here's as close as I could get to the story without getting crazy. So there's this guy, Jonah, and he is a magician, I guess is the best way. Like sorcerer, magician.
I think sorcerer is probably closer to it.
Sorcerer, okay. So he's a sorcerer, and setting is Louisiana, and I'm trying to think what it's 1963 when the story starts off. And one thing I can tell you when the story starts off is that, just goodness, I'm sorry, the conversation between him and his mom was so good. So Jonah's in the house, baby brother's in the house, mama's in the house saying, hey, listen, it's a little rocky out there tonight. Be careful, don't be using your magic and stuff. Now, as the reader, when you first are listening to all this, you're like, don't use your magic. What's going on? We don't even know what's happening. And he's like, don't worry, Mom, it's cool. He's headed off to his first gig to go and do whatever first gig stuff does. Because he's a magician. He's a musician, not a magician.
A musician, but not a magician. But he be magical with the music, you know what I mean?
Okay, and so, he's driving. He's driving by, vroom, 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 doing his thing. And then the police, because it's 1963, super racist, they're like, hey, yo, pull over.
I don't want to spoil that, though, because that was a really satisfying moment.
Okay, so skip past that. So, anywho, he's a magician. He's a musician. So, he's vibing, doing his thing, makes it to his destination and plays his amazing gig. I'm talking about best gig of his life he does. Best gig of his existence.
It was bewitching.
Some would even say it was magical. So he meets up with his homegirl he absolutely adores. They're just talking and kissing and loving on each other, talking about how much they love each other, and then boom, bam, bamble, this man gets attacked by these little gremlin looking creatures. And he's all like, I'm gonna protect my girl, but it's not like in the superhero way where he doesn't protect her. Nah, like he goes in. He's protecting homegirl.
Hell yeah.
And then, like, if you watch Attack on Titan, spoiler alert, but really this is like almost 10 years old, so like really get on it. Yeah. That part when Attack on Titan, when Eren gets chomped, and you're like, they couldn't possibly kill off the main character in the first episode.
Just like that.
They kill off the first character. Yeah, so that's what happens here. And then the rest is going to be history, because you should really watch. You should really read Crescent City Monsters. Like, it is so good. Like, and I left out so much. I know that this, if you're like listening, you're like, wow, that was a crazy synopsis. It's a crazy story, man. So good. One thing I've really liked about Crescent City Monsters, aside from like the characters being so amazing, is the way that they draw these characters. I'm sorry, I can't get over this art. Like, these black people look like black people. They look like your mom, they look like your brother, they look like your baby cousin. Like, these are actual black characters.
Yeah, you can tell it really caters to, like, it did what everybody hoped Yasuke would do.
We're not talking about that.
No. We can have a level ass ground where it's like, okay, you want to shed light on black culture. You want to have a setting that's
mythical, fantastical, but also isn't butcher and just completely,
without it being like, oh hell nah, or any other like the typical epithets that you expect from a black character in a successful series.
That's very true.
So it's completely devoid of that, where you have a good ass story, some good ass action, and you have some stuff that you don't understand, but it doesn't leave it all wild and open. It
does.
It leaves questions on a similar track,
and questions do get answered. The more you read.
And it's a series. Crescent City Monsters is a satisfying series to follow, because they have so many black people, but it's not, they have to go through all this trauma to develop. Like, they already start off like, look, I can handle myself.
I got this.
It's not I'm stuck in the hood and I'm just trying to get out, and then a bullet hits little Jimmy and I'm like, I gotta get back to school. You know, the typical things that we expect to settle for, as this is the only way that black characters can develop. It's really fun to see a black person, whether they're a hero or they bring on Armageddon or whatever the duck. Like, it's real.
It is.
It's real. So it's solid.
Good. It's honestly, Dream Fury did more than go off with the story. They went to the top and they just blew it out the water. I
paid respect to Louisiana culture.
Yes, like,
no respect.
I this is not a spoiler, but maybe it is. But I love the fact that you can tell they did research about like actual voodoo. Like, they took the time to understand the actual, what that religion is, or what that belief system, spirituality, what have you. Not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just trying to cover all my bases there. Like, you could tell they paid respect. One of the hugest things, like, I hear a lot of people who practice or who are in some way associated with voodoo, is the representation of Papa Legba in media. If you've ever seen what's that show, American Horror Story Coven, the portrayal of Papa Legba is actually inaccurate to a lot of people who practice voodoo. Apparently that's supposed to be Baron
Samedi.
Is that Baron Samedi?
Yeah. Baron Samedi, because Samedi is Saturday in French.
Correct.
So Baron Samedi.
And actual Papa Legba is like a completely different character, very, very sweet, just a whole different vibe than Baron Samedi is, and you can tell that they paid attention to that. They went in the way that spells and magic are done doesn't seem unnatural. One thing I love about like magical stories is I like when magical stories are real or based in realism. Like, we all know, if you've seen Full Metal Alchemist, like, there's an equal and equivalent exchange, but we often don't see that like in other magic types, or like when things have a magic system.
That's true.
Right.
That's
like, magic just happens, but just with anything, like, if you're an athlete, you have to train for it. Like, you have to give something. Right. If you're a singer, you have to give something to give that. Like, you can get fatigued. Here, the magic has consequences, and they're real consequences that are related to the thing that you do. And I love that. I love that about Crescent City. I love the fact that the characters feel grounded as much as they do fantastical. I like that the story, while it's confusing and complex, is also, oddly enough, digestible and easy to follow. it's literally Crescent City Monsters. I can't stop talking about it. It is all that in a bag of chips, and I highly suggest you get yourself a copy, the PDF, the physical. I love physical copies, so I have a physical copy.
There's nothing like having the collection on your bookshelf, because your battery on your iPad and your phone could die. It does serve its purpose for some, but when you're collecting graphic novels and comic books, like for me, there's like smell is like I associate memories with smells a lot. So a lot of the comics that I collect now,
okay,
Crescent City Monsters, and shush. Yeah, go ahead and flip your ass to sleep. Yeah, I know.
Why are you so mean to me?
The audacity. But legit though, like some of the comic book issues, like you can almost like put yourself back into that. For me, if I smell a really good comic, like it's a series that I follow a while. I remember early times when I first started reading comics, but that's just for me. But holding a book that you actually enjoyed, it's like, yo, I can't wait to give this to somebody. Not, hey, download this, I'm gonna send you the link. No, hold this, bring that joint back, and we'll talk about it later. That's how we started this.
Yeah, that is actually how we started this. There's a lot of episodes of the Good Culture podcast. If you're not following that, you should, because that's about to pop off.
You know
there's a lot of episodes that when we were just down to like me and Lloyd, we were just like, this could be its own podcast where we just talk about comics and manga and webtoons and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it should. That's how this got birthed. So there's plenty of those kinds of episodes where I was just like, oh my gosh, I just want to talk about comic books. I just want to talk about what I read. And we both are such big comic book nerds and like manga lovers. Like he goes to the comic book shop all the time. I buy comics online all the time. And I was just like, yo, you've got to read this. And we're always exchanging comics. And I think that's one of the things I've really enjoyed about the Crescent City Monster series, like me reading it on the couch and me being like, oh my god, here.
You know what that is? That means it's shareable.
Oh, it is shareable.
It's a shareable ass
comic. It is a shareable comic.
Yeah, because you're like, yo, this is great. But then you're like, this is so great.
I can't keep it to myself.
I gotta get to you, so we gotta talk about this.
Like, I need somebody else to be in on the story, so that we can sit here and chop it up. Hell so yes, Crescent City Monsters by Dream Fury Comics. You absolutely have to get on it. Just to take a moment to talk about the people who are actually behind the comics, though. Let's see here. Art by Giancarlo Bernal. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I know people always say I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but genuinely, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. But yo, as an artist, out of here. You knocked it out the park. Beautiful art. I love everything. You should definitely keep being an artist. You're gonna do it anyway, but you should definitely keep making art. And Newton Give it a try.
Where is it?
Right there.
Oh, Newton Lillebois.
Oh wow, you're so articulate. Yeah, Newton Lillebois, you're an amazing content creator, sir. You absolutely outdid yourself with Crescent City Monsters, and I look forward to whatever projects you have going forward. Again, that is Newton Lillebois as the creator, and the artist was Giancarlo Bernal.
Giancarlo.
Okay, great. We know that you're cultured. Stupid. Anywho.
Sorry, not sorry. I am.
But that was Crescent City Monsters. That was like our review, overview, that stuff. Let's move on to our next comic where we talk about Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man, again, is written by W. Maxwell Prince, and art is done by Martin Morazzo. Colors by Chris O'Halloran. And there's also a letterer, Good Old Neon, and there are some other cover artists as well. I'll list a link of these people wherever this is posted so you can see all those amazing creators. But Ice Cream Man, it's an Image comic, and it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
It's a good anthology.
It is. Yeah, it is an anthology.
Anthology and comics can be really hit or miss. Because for a lot of, especially since comics are not as, unless it's Marvel or DC, it's not really well pushed. Or even for different, like one of my apprehensions before getting back into comics, is this canon or not? Like, if it's a famous one, like everybody reads, Iron Man, Spider-Man, or even Batman, and all these different, like, you have Batman the detective, the Joker that laughs. You don't know which ones are actually applicable or are in canon. So instead of getting all these different variations that don't follow a consistent story, if you're not really invested, you might feel like you're missing out on something or jumping into the middle. I like starting at the beginning of a story. So I can't tell if a story doesn't really apply or if it's not in the timeline. I don't like getting that far into the weeds. So for an anthology, where it's like you're just in this universe, but I guess they coincide, it has to be good to keep my attention. And
no, it's attention. I'm joking, but you're definitely right.
You go, okay, all right. You gonna have it. Okay, we'll let you have your little moment, even though it is attention, because I intended to say that, goddamn. But the anthology for Ice Cream Man is so. Each individual episode is refreshing because they have totally different formats.
Yeah.
Even though it revolves around this overarching theme that you don't even get into until Volume 3. I didn't even give you Volume 3 yet.
You didn't give me Volume 3. I've only read Volume 1 and 2. Yeah, some of these are just good. Like, they feel like movies.
They're great by themselves.
They are so good.
They're super solid by themselves.
Synopsis, and could give you a little bit more information about Ice Cream Man. Ice Cream Man is a horror anthology. Also, if you wanted to know, I guess Crescent City Monsters is like a horror, kind of horror adjacent, maybe type comic.
That's fair.
Horror adjacent comic. Yeah, I wouldn't consider it like necessarily horrifying, but it's horror adjacent.
I would say it's definitely a graphic novel.
Gore.
Yeah.
Gory.
I would say gore more than horror, because horror specifically is like nobody's supposed to win, but it has more of a story to it than typical horror would.
Okay, so just to let you know, Crescent City Monsters is like horror adjacent gore. Ice Cream Man is specifically a horror anthology series. However, it's anthology, but everything has a connection to it. I won't spoil the connection because I think that unlike Crescent City Monsters, where you kind of have to like get into the story, I feel like with Ice Cream Man, if I spoil the connection, it kind of takes the fun out of reading it. But essentially, it follows one central figure who is an ice cream man, and he is basically the curator or proctor, or I would say more like the bringer. He's the bringer of these stories upon these different people in their lives. And as you go through each of these anthology pieces, the stories sometimes have connections, the stories sometimes don't have connections. It's all just so good. And also the art style that complements the story. You get to pick up on these little hints, and you get to pick up on these little bits of information about what possibly could be going on in the larger case that is the Ice Cream Man doing whatever ice cream men do in whatever space he's in. It's very vague the way I just explained it, but yeah.
You have this, so it puts you in a town.
Okay, that's better.
And a regular run-of-the-mill town, and it looks very plain. It's a very plain town where it looks like nothing happens, and from issue 1, the first thing that you see is just this regular ice cream man that's just, but he's got that 50s style. It's not like a nowadays in a minivan, probably not even in a uniform. He's almost out. He's pretty out of place if you pay attention from the beginning. Yeah.
In this modern comic,
it's more modern than he lets on. But that town is his. Like in one instance, you're the one reading it, but he's the narrator.
He's the narrator for all of them.
Not all of it.
Not all of it?
Not all of it.
Okay, so see, I gotta keep reading.
And there are differences, and where it splits is where each anthology starts to come together. It's so intricate, seeing how each issue transpires, because when you look into it and you think he's narrating whatever you read, like some philosophical thing about life and death or whatever, and then you see these random thoughts pop into, without giving too much away, you know, they might have a thought that pops into their head, or something scary or traumatic from their past, or, you know, hanging in the balance, or something supernatural that nobody can explain, or what, and police are trying to catch up and investigate while he's just having his way with this little run-of-the-mill suburb, just bringing everything his ice cream entails.
Yeah.
Lickety split.
Lickety split. Yeah, that's actually a really good way to frame Ice Cream Man. And one thing I really enjoyed about reading Ice Cream Man was it's each story, well, just letting you know, each story is inspired by a type of ice cream. So like vanilla, Napoleon, it's not Neapolitan.
Neapolitan, good job.
I call Neapolitan Napoleon ice cream. It's just what it is. I'm short, it's short, it makes sense. But Neapolitan, it's got like raspberry surprise, banana split, like all of these different like stories revolve around the theme of whatever ice cream it is. Which is also kind of interesting because when you read the title, it's almost like, ooh, I wonder what this is going to mean for the story based on this kind of ice cream. Like, it's so fun. I think the art also kind of is a mix between taking like modern art but also giving it kind of like an old-timey feel almost.
Yeah.
The art itself almost feels like it's kind of stagnant in time, like you're not exactly sure, you can't place where it is. Gore's top-notch in this comic, by the way. If you're someone who likes like creative kills or interesting like horror moments, definitely Ice Cream Man delivers on that. As far as the writing is concerned, I love the writing. I think it's I typically don't like characters that get too philosophical. It feels almost too pretentious to me.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is. When he's getting all philosophical and instead of taking you to like your first year of like college entry level psych, it feels a little out there, but also it feels grounded in a way. Like, I don't know the best way to describe it. It almost feels like...
I can feel the difference. Because in other things, especially when they get too long-winded in their head, it almost gets annoying when somebody in comics, or especially like every time they do the Grey's Anatomy episodes and she's talking at the beginning and the end, this whole idea that you reach this new coming-of-age enlightening moment with a positive ending. Every
time it's an epiphany.
Everything is an epiphany. Like, oh, this will allow me to have a brighter day. Sometimes the writing of that philosophical moment just ends with like, and then you die. Or then by the time you realize it, the worms are already feeding off of your body. And you're like, what the hell? What? It's not a happy moment to teach me about studying better? No.
Not even that. It's just like, you know, it's almost like that guy that's in your job that like he went to college but only made it to like maybe his junior year, so he never got his degree, but he took 2 years of psych because he wanted to be a psych major. And he's over here spouting off all of this philosophy and this deep, what he thinks is like this super revolutionary like thought process on, oh, okay baby, there
is some baby outside that's just crying.
I hope this does. If it makes it to the podcast, it just is what it is. Like,
it ain't.
You know.
Yeah, but still,
it's just wow.
It just said,
that baby had lungs.
That baby got ice cream from the Ice Cream Man.
Shut up. You're awful.
Said lickety splat.
Anywho's it again, like he's going off and spouting off about all this philosophical mess, and deep down you're just like, okay, when is lunch? Is it tomorrow? Is it today? Like,
it's like on? Yeah, that's all great.
That's great.
People that sound like they're showing off knowledge, but it's something really simple. Because there are people that present it like they want to sound intelligent, but all they really wanted to tell you was, you know what, you need to schedule your time. But then they say, you know what, time is just like sugar in a sandwich bag, right? You take it out of the original sugar bag because you can't take too much. You can only have, and you're like, bro, just tell me to manage my time better, right? But there are moments in Ice Cream Man where you won't realize it, but you go from being a narrator to being in the audience.
Interesting.
And there is a distinction between the two.
Okay.
And it comes out in some part of the episodes where it's like, by the way, this is horror. And then it walks you right in and you're already halfway there. You're like, where did this come from? There's that separate, no matter how much you read in the bar, there's fourth wall breaking. Then you're
there
like,
is some fourth wall breaking.
oh crap, my bad. Like moments.
There's just TLDR as far as the philosophy, like these deep moments. Like the deep moments don't feel tiring. The deep moments are relevant to the story. They do require some thought process to like actually understand what he's saying. And while some of it's kind of nonsensical, other parts of it's really grounded. Like this, like I said, the story just has a way of like being completely unfounded and also being completely in itself at the same time. I'm not trying to make Ice Cream Man sound like some revolutionary comic, but when I mean this comic really does a great job of taking small things and making them grandiose, taking grandiose things and minimizing them in a way that puts it in a whole different perspective for you. And there are moments when you're reading, you're like, oh my god, I did not see that coming. Yeah, Ice Cream Man did it. So it gets 10 out of 10 stars for me. It's so good. Like, definitely would suggest, if you're someone who likes horror anthology, if you're someone who's just looking for something different from like your day-to-day, whatever you normally read, I think Ice Cream Man is a good addition to your shelf. Just again, to talk a little bit more about the story, it's written again by W. Maxwell Prince. Again, I know you're not listening, but if you happen to, great writer, like super amazing writer. Art by Martín Morazzo. I really enjoyed the art here, especially, not gonna ruin it, but just letting you know, the Neapolitan story, so good. Love that. Neapolitan story was one of my favorites. But yeah, Ice Cream. Any more comments about Ice Cream Man?
Ice Cream Man, it's worth a read. It's absolutely, see the rest of it for yourself. I can't give away too much. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's
really good.
Yeah. Enough about that. You just gotta see the rest for yourself. You're welcome.
You're welcome in advance. And finally, the last comic, actually not a comic, it's a webtoon. The last
graphic novel.
Now it's a comic. It got released as a comic.
Yeah, but it's a graphic series.
It's a graphic series, and it is the one, the only, the critically acclaimed Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. So good. So good. If you're reading Lord Olympus right now, Lore Olympus right now. If you're reading Lore Olympus right now, so good. What are we at? We're at the mid-season finale, right?
Yep. Mid-season 2.
Mid-season 2.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh,
also,
my gosh.
Dude, spoiler alert. Just letting you guys know, spoiler alert is ahead. Because okay, so ain't nobody tell me it's gonna end that way. Like, I knew it was gonna end that way. That way. But ain't nobody tell me it was gonna end that way.
Oh my gosh. She finally did the payoff. Like, we finally saw what would happen if Hades found out.
And like,
yeah, damn.
It's just you know what really just the fact that Apollo, really, his grimy, nasty, slimy, scum of the earth self, this man, this deity, so gross.
Dude, he's nuts, bro. I cannot stand his ass.
Oh my god,
I can't stand him.
I'm at a loss for words. Okay, I'm at a loss for. Okay, so question: do you think that he did something to Hera's other daughter, the goddess of destruction,
to bring her in, to have her fly in there at just the right time? Absolutely.
Well, no, because she's like the judge, jury, executioner anyway.
Yeah, like, the one that exposed the super dark secrets. Yeah.
Right, so she was gonna fly in, but it's the way that she looked at Ares, not Ares. It's the way that she looked at Apollo when he was like looking at her, like there was fear, and it's the way that Persephone was like, I know that look. Yep. I feel. Yep. There's something happened.
I think she might have looked at Persephone for the first time and was like, then she saw it. and then look back at him. Because at first,
would be it.
when she got hit by the arrow, she was like, "Ugh, you." Because that wasn't his dark secret. That's a Tuesday for him, what he did. But then she looked at Persephone and saw him in her eyes. That's where the switch came on. So I think it was more of those where she's like, your dark secret just shot me in the back. Like that thing, that scary realization. But it's the writing for it is just
so good, so.
And it has such a sensitive touch that I think only, truthfully, only a woman writer of that caliber could present. Because things are faced in a way that
it's not heavy-handed. It's not like we were talking about. It's very delicate. Nothing like
Ma is different. We ain't talking about.
No, I'm talking about that.
We ain't talking about.
But it's not heavy-handed, and I know a lot of people were actually a little bit upset about Laura Olympus saying that she was kind of just like all these dark thoughts, like all of these dark themes, and I'm just like, but Greek mythology is nothing but like
the original Zeus.
Right?
You must not know about Greek mythology.
Greek mythology is all SA and in abuse and whatever else is going on. It's all of that and worse, and so much worse. So
all the deities and demigods and goddesses, they're all in heat.
Right.
Or if they're not in heat, it was forced upon them. It's
so the type of stories.
But for Laura Olympus to stand out like this when Greek mythology being reimagined is nothing new.
It's definitely nothing new.
To put Greek mythology in a violent spotlight, God of War did that above and beyond. And then you have a TV series that may have had 2 or 3 seasons where they revisited it, or at least some variation upon it. The idea of some kind of mythology being brought into a modern timeline, or if gods existed, because you have American Gods, which was on, I think it was HBO. Or
American Gods wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but I'm saying the
idea of mythology.
Yeah, bringing mythology back up into an interesting way, a way that hasn't been done. It took a delicate touch that Rachel Smythe brought in.
Oh, absolutely. The only other story I can think that I've read that I really liked, like that was specifically a Persephone and Hades story. I read this book like eons ago, but I think it was called like Goddess Trials, and it was basically kind of unlike Laura Olympus, where it's actually set in the realm of the gods, and the realm of the gods just far advanced humans. It was like the gods were set in modern time, and basically every so often, because the gods are so old, they have to basically rebirth themselves, like reincarnation kind of stuff. I thought that was I think it's called Goddess Trials. If not, I'll put it somewhere with this video so you can find the book yourself. I think that was a good iteration. But going back to Laura Olympus, it's just one thing I love that Rachel Smythe does. One, she puts trigger warnings before she gets into a chapter that she knows is going to be heavy.
I think for webtoons that's mandatory.
Oh, I'm glad that they did that then. Like I said, I could be wrong. I don't think it's called Goddess Trials, but I want to say it's called Goddess Trials. It was a book I borrowed from the library and I tried to keep, but then the library called and said I had to bring it back.
They said, how's that book going? It was good? It's good? It was good on our shelf, too. By the way, shouldn't it be back here by now?
It should be back here. I love the fact that there's trigger warnings, and I love the fact that each time we go into these sensitive topics, like the character that is, like, I love the therapist and the way that the therapist is walking Persephone through. And I think that for some who
the literal stallion,
as I think it was Chiron was the god that they used as a therapist.
I think so.
As Chiron is taking Persephone through each piece and like taking her through her steps to heal, I think it's it takes a very triggering topic like sexual assault and rape, and it kind of puts it into a position to where if you're someone who might be triggered by that, you get a little bit of healing too through that. At least that's my opinion.
You know what else it does? Laura Olympus, for me, shed light on what signs of SA could look like.
Yeah.
Because through Persephone's responses, you see the thoughts behind her mind, and the type of wording that she uses, and as she tries to unpack everything, you see her endure before she gets to unpacking. So you can recognize some of those signs that are applicable in your life.
Right.
For people that you may not even know about. Wait, you're using these? Are you sure you're fine? About that one time over when we left the party early, but they were still like.
It gives you it kind of gives you some insight.
It gives you a realistic vision as how to help people out and reckon. So it's even like not educational, but you can tell some delicate work, or it even possibly some past experiences, or just really, really good research into the mind of somebody that's going through it. So people that really connect with it or resonate it may know or have experience, or at least know somebody that has those signs that Persephone goes through. And everybody wants to be the Hades, like, oh, just wait till I find out. Right. Wait till I was waiting for 60 issues to see what happens when he finds out.
Absolutely.
So like
it helps to, if anything, it helps to validate the mind of survivors. I know a lot of people always tell survivors what they should be doing, how they should act, how they should emote, how they should feel.
Why don't you just tell them? Why don't you this?
Why don't you just do that? And getting to see Persephone go through and emote and go through her different phases, going through her anger, through her despair, through her depression, through her sadness, through her tears, and then as she begins to heal and come out the other side, which, mind you, she never truly actually heals, because wounds like that, as Lore Olympus shows, are so deep. You realize it's not just time. It takes more than time. It takes time plus. It takes time plus to actually begin the process of healing. But you get to see all of that through Persephone. And I think that's such a beautiful and powerful thing that we get to see. Also, Lore Olympus does not shy away from characters being wrong. Mm-hmm. It doesn't dramatize the wrongness that characters do, but nor does it underplay or downplay any of the wrongness that characters do. Like, we all know Apollo was wrong. Period. Point, period, blank. There's no vindication for him. There's no way to wash it away or anything like that. Apollo's just dead ass wrong. We know Apollo was wrong, and there's nothing that Apollo can do to right that. And I love the fact that we get to see Apollo try in every way to right his wrong. That is so wrong that even he knows it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And you get to see his anxiety.
Even his mom admitted it was wrong. She's like, I'm trying to set you up. You must have really messed up. And it's like, no, I did everything I can. You must have really messed up. You know what? To the point that the main overarching, there are so many little like mini stories within it. And a unique thing that I've come to realize with Lore Olympus is all of those mini stories become breaks from a heavy side. It's not even like a real side thing, because it's not a story of Persephone and trauma. Mm-hmm. But the breaks, the mental breaks you get are the actual story itself. Mm-hmm. So if of course they have the SA part of the episodes where they have to put the disclaimer, because they're going to talk about that and trauma and PTSD and dealing with those. And then you're like, by the way, there is a whole other story.
There is a B plot here.
Yeah.
There is a B plot.
And they without them clashing with each other, like they do kind of weave well. So you see, and it does pay a lot of respect to like the original characters themselves, because Zeus still be hoeing. You know, he's just hoeing with his secretary.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So they
I love the comedy breaks too. Like,
oh yeah,
I ain't gonna lie to you. One of the funniest moments in that entire like comic series is when they're talking to Poseidon about, when Demeter is talking to Poseidon about his son.
Demeter.
Demeter is talking to Poseidon about his son that he left in the human realm. It's like, and you ain't paid a lick of child support. Nay. Nay.
He's a literal seahorse.
He's a seahorse. He's an actual seahorse. Like an actual
Forgot
seahorse.
about that.
An actual seahorse. And he just left him in the human realm. And Demeter is just like, you ain't paying no child support. What's going on here? And I thought it was funny. I love that. I love the expression of everyone. Everyone's got some great expressions, like some really fun facial expressions. I love the color palette. I really enjoy the pastel-y colors. I love that the gods aren't like human colored and that the humans are human colored. The gods are all like pastels. I really enjoy that.
And human colored, including brown and black.
That is true. Human color, including brown and black. I love everything. I think the fashion is top tier too. Like,
oh yeah,
Persephone bad. First of all, bad.
Yes,
bad. Better than bad.
Surely
so
a little bad.
Good. She a little boo thing. Like, I love her outfit.
Let me chill.
She do be a little thick though.
She do what she does, just because.
She do be a little thick. But I
just. Got us a spring. The lobby spring got down.
Oh, stop! I say, stop it. But no, just everything about Lore Olympus is so good. If you're not caught up to the mid-season finale, you definitely should. If you've been waiting for a reason to get into Lore Olympus, it's absolutely a good read. I know for me personally, like, I get really fatigued with long series. Like, if I didn't start it when it started, like, I'm not gonna finish it. Like, I'm not even gonna try to start. But Lore Olympus is one of those series, like, I think I got into it almost at the end of season 2 and I binged it. It is just that good. It is absolutely worth getting into. And right now, I think that she's going on a hiatus for almost 4 months. So you literally have 4 months to catch up to the mid-season finale of season 2 before there's going to be more content. It is so good. But yeah, those are my main thoughts. I mean, overall, Lore Olympus is good. I know we just talked about the most current part, but overall, Lore Olympus is such a great story. So diverse. So the beginning of the story really has my heart too. When that first moment when Hades sees Persephone in a nightclub at so and so's party. Can't even think. I think it was either Zeus's or Poseidon's party.
It might have been Zeus's.
But that moment when Hades sees Persephone, and he goes, "I think she might be more beautiful than Aphrodite." And that moment, like, is just like, what? You said that?
You said that out loud with your mouth?
With your mouth?
Verbally?
Like, it was that love at first sight, and just everything from that. And also, I can't wait till we see it, till we actually see it. But that glimpse of Persephone that we see in the tapes,
in the VHS
tapes, when she becomes the actual goddess of wrath. I don't know when that's coming. I don't know when that's happening, but I'm just letting you know I need it. Yeah. I need it I need it right now. I need it in my hand. And I feel like it's close. I feel like we're on the path. But also there's a subplot about who's trapped in Tartarus.
In Tartarus? Wait, because she's trapped on Earth. Her mom. No.
And remember, so Hades took her down to go eat the pomegranate. Well, to go see the pomegranate. And he was saying,
his dad.
Yes. But what's his name? Kronos?
Yeah, Kronos.
Okay. There's also the subplot about Kronos slowly being released by Persephone. He left the tree on the side of the building, and that tree has been giving him energy. And
has it been giving him energy or just shedding light?
I don't know what it is, but as you know, everybody's wounds from the war are starting to open. They're all starting to bleed.
Oh, that's right.
That's what that plot is.
Oh,
the tree that Hades left from Persephone when she went all god mode, it's been feeding, and then a moment when Kronos was like, "You finally did something right. You found a fertility goddess."
Yeah,
that was that moment. That's why, what is her name? The other yellow goddess. I can't think of all these goddesses' names, but she was like she was the goddess that was basically the virgin thingy-mabobber, the maidens, eternal maidens.
Oh, the goddesses of eternal maidenhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the leader of that. And she started bleeding before the trial because she had
wounds from Kronos.
She had wounds from Kronos. They all did. Hera had wounds from Kronos. She was torn in half. The only person I think who doesn't have like serious wounds from Kronos was Zeus.
Zeus is the only one that doesn't have any.
Yep.
Poseidon has scars. Hades has scars from when you shoot on him. Everybody but Zeus.
So he's watching everybody around him like literally die. Literally like pain. crazy. Like this, Lord Olympus is so good. Lord Olympus is so good.
It is.
Yeah, so that's Lord Olympus. Definitely should watch it. Any last thoughts about Lord Olympus?
All three of these are definitely solid reads.
Literally said any last thoughts about Lord Olympus, but that's okay.
I was saying, you gonna let me finish my goddamn sentence?
Go ahead.
Check them all out, including Lord Olympus. No, you ruined it. I'm gonna drink the rest of this room temperature ass coffee. I'm gonna let you go ahead and conclude this. Do your part, yeah.
You're so mean. Yeah, you are. I'm gonna drink the rest of my coffee too. I'm gonna.
Can't even handle black coffee. What we doing with black coffee?
My coffee is actually blonde because I need creamer in order.
You hear that? Can't even go for black coffee.
Wow.
Coffee creamer comics. We're gonna do all Ks. We're gonna do 3 Ks just to make it more fitting for you.
Oh. Blaque and Kulture was too stunned to speak. How could you? Anywho.
Well, you have to make it BLK now. Blaque and lack of culture.
Oh my goodness. Anywho. Yes, as my lovely cohort Lloyd was saying, all 3 of these comics you absolutely should read. Crescent City Monsters by Dream Fury Comics, Ice Cream Man, which was written by W. Maxwell Prince and art by Martin Morazzo, and Lord Olympus, which was by Rachel Smythe. You should give them all looks. They are amazing comics / books / webtoons, and all of them are very much available and accessible to you. Crescent City Monsters you can get off their website. They have a Shopify, and the comics are actually pretty for an indie brand, very, very affordable. It's like $7. As far as Ice Cream Man, you can buy the issues. I think you gotta go to your local comic book shop for the issues, but they are selling the full like omnibus style volumes, and you got yours at what, Coliseum Comics?
At Coliseum, yeah.
So like your local comic book shop should have those, but you can also get it off of Image Comics website. You can actually read the first volume. The first issue on Image Comics if you go to their website, type in Ice Cream Man. And as far as Lord Olympus, you can just go on Webtoon, read it all there for free up until the mid-season finale. Or if you really are one of those people that has to have the book, like myself, they're actually on sale, both hardcover and paperback, for only $13 and some change. $13 and some change. Or if you were or if you pre-ordered it, you had the pre-order. I think it's also available in like most bookstores. Like it was available in Barnes and Nobles for a pretty decent price.
Heck to the yay.
So yeah, these books are extremely accessible. You don't have to hunt for them, and you definitely should give them a read. That was a pretty decent episode, if I don't say so myself. What would you say?
Yeah.
And if you are interested in listening to more of us jibber jabber about whatever comics we like, you definitely can listen to us here on Spotify. Also, these episodes will be going up on YouTube. And to conclude this amazing episode, my name is Ty Blaque and Kulture, and this is my lovely co-host.
Oh, Space Lloyd 8. I was trying to build up the suspense.
Are you not paying attention? Are you not paying attention?
I am absolutely
trying to close this podcast.
Anyway, my name is Space Lloyd 8.
And if you're looking for us, where can they find you, friend? Where can they find you?
Oh, that's super
in the trash.
Easy.
I'm sorry.
Okay, for real? All right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that today, huh? All right. So you can most certainly not find me where the compost is, because that'd be right next to her character art. Goddamn. You actually spit it out. Serves you right. But it's really easy because I've already said the handle that you can handle. Goddamn. So, and on Twitter, Space Lloyd 8. On Instagram, Space Lloyd 8, and that's 2 L's. One of them always being taken by my co-host here, but LLOYD 8, SPACELLOYD, the number 8.
Your
same thing for
going down.
Yeah, same thing for TikTok as well. Space Lloyd 8, and then for YouTube, I do be streaming and stuff, and especially for D&D whatnot. So Space Lloyd Gaming on YouTube. So you'll see me.
You have a Twitch too, right?
I do. Twitch.tv/SpaceLloyd8 as well.
Dope. If you want to find me online, it is Blaque and Kulture on most. Actually, it is not Blaque and Kulture. I gotta stop saying that. On Instagram, it is Blaque and Kulture Official. On TikTok is just Blaque and Kulture. On YouTube, it is Blaque and Kulture. On Twitter, which I find myself to be pretty funny on Twitter. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Blaque and Kulture 1. And I'm trying to think of anywhere else. Yeah, and wherever else I make content. Or you can just go to my website, because I have one of those. It is blaqueandculture.card.co. And all of those links will be linked somewhere with this podcast, aka or video, depending on where you're listening. And that concludes the very first episode of Blaque Coffee Comics. It was absolutely lovely hanging out with y'all, and we'll see you next time. Well, you'll hear from us next time.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.